Most people think stories about exorcisms only happen in horror movies. Dark rooms, priests holding crosses, people screaming in strange voices. But in a small Australian town, locals still whisper about a terrifying case that many believe was completely real. Even now, years later, people avoid driving near the old house after dark. Some say the place still feels wrong, like something evil never truly left. It all started with a teenage girl named Emily. She lived with her parents on the edge of town in an isolated property surrounded by dry land and endless silence. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Emily was described as quiet, polite, and completely normal. But then, strange things slowly began happening inside the house. Her parents claimed she started waking up in the middle of the night, screaming at invisible people standing in her room. At first, they thought it was nightmares, stress, maybe anxiety. But the behavior became darker. Emily stopped sleeping properly. She barely ate. She locked herself inside her bedroom for hours and refused to speak to anyone. Then, neighbors began noticing strange noises coming from the property late at night. And some described hearing violent banging sounds, furniture scraping across floors, and terrifying screams echoing into the darkness. One neighbor later claimed they heard Emily speaking in a deep voice that sounded nothing like her own. Rumors spread quickly through the town. Some believed she was mentally unwell. Others became convinced something supernatural was happening inside that house. But everything changed after one horrifying night. According to reports from locals, Emily's mother ran screaming to a nearby neighbor's home just after midnight, begging for help. She was crying hysterically, claiming her daughter had become violent and attacked her father. By the time police arrived at the property, the atmosphere inside was described as chaotic and deeply disturbing. Furniture had been overturned, windows smashed, and strange symbols were reportedly scratched into the bedroom walls. Officers attempted to calm Emily down, but witnesses later claimed her behavior terrified everyone in the room. One officer allegedly said she was speaking in different voices and somehow seemed to know personal details about people she had never met before. Official reports never confirmed anything supernatural, but stories continued spreading across the community. And that's when the town priest became involved. Father Michael was known as a calm and respected man who rarely spoke publicly about paranormal claims. But according to locals, after visiting the house, even he appeared visibly shaken. People noticed he stopped answering questions about the family entirely. Then rumors began that the church had approved a private exorcism. Late one evening, several cars were seen arriving at the property. Curtains were closed tightly. Lights flickered through the windows while terrified screaming echoed across the empty land surrounding the house. Some neighbors later claimed they heard prayer chanting continuing until nearly sunrise. One elderly resident even said the screaming suddenly stopped all at once, followed by complete silence. And honestly, that silence frightened people more than the screams ever did. Over the following days, nobody saw Emily outside. The family avoided the public completely. Then, suddenly, without warning, they disappeared. The house was abandoned almost overnight. No goodbye, no explanation. Just empty rooms, broken furniture, and rumors spreading faster than ever before. Teenagers from the town eventually started sneaking onto the property at night, hoping to experience something paranormal for themselves. Most returned terrified. Some claimed doors slammed shut on their own. Others reported hearing whispers coming from empty rooms. One group of friends allegedly found dead birds arranged in strange patterns near the back of the property before running away in panic. Whether those stories were real or simply fear playing tricks on people, nobody truly knows. But over time, the house gained a terrifying reputation. Locals started calling it the Devil House. Taxi drivers refused to stop nearby after dark.
Delivery workers avoided the road entirely. Even years later, some residents claimed they still saw lights flickering inside, despite the property having no electricity connected anymore. Paranormal investigators eventually traveled to the town hoping to document evidence. One team claimed their cameras malfunctioned repeatedly while recording inside the bedroom where Emily supposedly stayed. Another investigator later said they captured unexplained whispering sounds on audio equipment, though skeptics argued it was nothing more than interference or imagination. But perhaps the scariest part of this story isn't whether demons were real or not. It's how quickly fear consumed an entire town. The rumors became stronger than facts. Every strange noise became proof of something evil. Every shadow became a threat. And honestly, maybe that's what horror really is. Not monsters hiding under beds, but ordinary people becoming trapped by fear and uncertainty. To this day, nobody knows exactly what happened inside that isolated Australian house. Some believe Emily suffered from severe mental illness, and the town's paranoia turned her story into a legend. Others remain convinced something dark truly existed there, something nobody could explain. But one thing is certain, the story never fully disappeared. Even now, late at night, people in that town still warn visitors not to go near the old property after midnight. Because according to local legend, sometimes you can still hear screaming carried through the wind across the empty Australian outback.